Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. It's a new day, another opportunity to either make money in this market or to just learn from the market. But first, let me give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. But if you could please like, share, subscribe, y'all. We learn and we grow together. With that being said, let's get started. So we are looking at AMD. We closed at 160.88, and as you can see, y'all, we found support somewhere around this level. I have at 158.23. Let's see, there. 158.33 is around like where our support is as of now. I had this level here of 128.23. So we're kind of close to that support area. So looks like we could very well bounce from here. This could be a 30-minute a double bottom from this 30-minute chart. Could be. Let's say that right. That's why I say, y'all, anything is possible. So where the trouble places back to the upside for AMD, possibly here at this 158.95, and it's kind of like where our 5 EMA is as of now. Should we break that 159.18 and breaking the 159.18 area, we could possibly have trouble again somewhere around the 159.42, breaking that 159.52. Should we break that somewhere around the 159.66 and breaking that, we can use the 20 EMA here, 159.78, and breaking that level 159.87. If we break the 159.87, we have 160.07. Y'all see that is where our 200 EMA is, and a line that we have marked. I like to see that. However, that could be a strong area of resistance for us today for AMD. Breaking this 160.07. Why? Because we have the ATR trail and stop 20 EMA and a level that we have marked around that 160.17 area and another layer of 160.24. So in my opinion, this here, that 160, let's say here, from the 160.07 to the 160.24 could be strong resistance. Again, not financial advice. Breaking that, we could possibly have trouble again, 160.39. That is where our 50 EMA is as of now. I like to see that. Breaking that brings us back to the 160.58 and again 160.75. Breaking that 160.75 for AMD today. 161.02 could be a rejection area for us. So if you're trading AMD today, those are possible areas of resistance. Now back to the downside, let's say we break under the 158.23 area, we could possibly come back to around 157.79 again here at 157.60, breaking that 157.31, breaking that 157, and should we break that 157, next level 156.75, breaking that 156.75 area, 156.18 could be a support area. Now breaking that 156.18, the next level I have is here at 155.82. So again, if AMD is something that you trade today, I see it often, y'all, trade carefully, market levels. Once it goes against your reason for getting in the trade, make sure you have the discipline to get out or have a plan to get out, right? So we're now looking at Meta. We closed at 760.66. I did 760.66. It looks as if we found support here at 754.23, where the trouble places back to the upside. 754.36, no, 754.86. Yes, should we break that level? 755.48, breaking that 756.01. Should we break that somewhere around the 756.35, not far away? However, breaking that 757.50, and should we break that 758.05, there's a few layers of resistance here, of one being the 758.65. Should we break that, we could use, let's say, that 50 EMA as of now, 759.06, breaking that 759.06 area, 759.10 area for Meta. We could possibly have trouble again somewhere around you see the ATR trail and stop in a level that we have marked here. So that 759.91 area could be a strong resistance area for Meta. Again, not financial advice. However, breaking that, we could possibly have trouble 760.46 and breaking that 760.46, I have 760.85, and should we break that 761.13, again 761.69, and should we break that 762.84, breaking that 763.50, and if we should break that, y'all see the 200 EMA is really close to a level that we have marked. I love to see that, y'all. 764.27. So those are possible areas of resistance for Meta today. Now let's look to the downside. Say for instance we break under this level here, 754.23. We found support here, right? As we were on a day here, we found support here. So should we break this level, we could possibly come back to around 753.41 and breaking that 752.53, breaking that 751.89. Should we break under that, 751.10, and breaking that level 750.21. Now, under the 750.21 area, the next level that I have marked for Meta is around the 748.25. So, if Meta is something that you trade today, y'all, I say it often, trade carefully, mark your levels. Once it goes your reason for getting in the trade, make sure you have the discipline to get out, right? Live to trade another day. We are now looking at NVDA. We closed at 176.97. What was interesting is, y'all, we were trading in this gathering spot here. It looks like we've broken out of that area. The direction was to the downside. So where are the trouble places? Looks as if we found some support around the 174.62, 174.92. Yes, now breaking back to the upside, we would need to, let's say support was at this level of 174.92. We can say resistance is this 5 EMA as of now, 175.63. Should we break that back to the upside, 175.88, 176.16. We can use that 20 EMA, 176.38. Should we break that, 176.60, breaking that 176.89. Y'all see that is where the ATR trailing stop is, and a level that I have marked here, breaking that could be strong resistance for NVIDIA today. However, that 50 EMA, we can use that 177.03, could be a rejection area, and the 177.13. So let's say from the 176.88 up to the 177.13 could be possible, could be a possible rejection area for us, right? Breaking that, we could possibly have trouble again here at, let's say, this level here of 177.43, 177.58, and breaking that, we have the 200 EMA around the 177.68 and breaking that level 177.80, breaking that 177.99, and again 178.25. Now, again, I look at support and resistance on a smaller scale. Why? Because when I'm in the trade, I kind of want to know where my possible trouble places are. So again, looking at NVIDIA to the downside, if we should break under this level of 174.71, we could come back to around 174.52. Let's see. Yes, 174.32, 171.52. I got to get it right today, right? 174.52, breaking that brings us back to 174.18 and breaking that 174. Should we break loose that 174, the next level, 173.63. Again here at 173.48, 173.14, 172.84, and 172.57. So those are possible areas of support for NVIDIA. I said, y'all, often in this market, anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed, right? So we do have a few inside day candles for today. I like to give those. Why? Because it gives us a possible target should we break beyond or below this area. So back to the upside, AI is on the list today. 1852 target would be, around the 1899 area. Now, I was looking at this downside move that we've already made pre-market. So we've broken through that $18 trigger. The downside target was 1784. We've made a pre-market low. I'm going to mark this area here around the 1761. So if you're trading AI today, it normally moves, let's say, 83 cents per day in either direction. It was an inside or is an inside day candle today, and that anything is possible, right? So charge point CHPT is also an inside day candle for today. Let's say we break above this 1135 upside target today, 1170. Now to the downside under 1075, downside target $10.71, not very far away. But let's see how much charge point normally moves, about 57 cents per day. Again, that is the ATR, or the average true range for the stock. I say anything is possible. So if charge point is something that you trade, I say trade carefully. So CLF, or Cleveland Cliffs, is also an inside day candle above 1175. We have an upside target today, 1202, which we are not far from that. Why? Because pre-market we've already made a high of around 1195. However, I'm going to mark that 1194 area here. Why? Because something stopped us there. Now, back to the downside, by chance we break under 1148, downside target for CLF today, 1127. Let's go see how much we normally move per day. That's 56 cents. And again, y'all, that could be in either direction. So if Cleveland Cliffs or CLF is something that you trade carefully. CSX is an inside day candle. We have already broken through that trigger and reached that target pre-market, right? So 34.30 was the trigger to the upside. 34.32 was the target. We've already reached that target. We've actually extended that to $34.53 has been the high thus far. So let's look to the downside. Can we get rejected and come back down? We very well can, right? So under the 33.45 downside target today is 33.29. Keep in mind, y'all, that could be in either direction. So let's see, it normally moves about 65 cents per day, y'all. Again, I say that's in either direction, CSX. So if that's something that you trade today, I say it often, y'all, trade carefully. I do believe we have GameStop on the list today as an inside day candle, and it is, right? So let's say beyond to the upside, if we should break above 27.25, downside target 27.36, we have already broken through that downside trigger of 26.59, which gave us a downside target of 25.95, and as you can see, that is where we are right now. I like to look at inside day candles, y'all, because it kind of helps build our watch list, right? So let's see how much GameStop or GME is currently moving per 85 cents per day. That is the ATR trailing stop. So if you're trading GameStop or GME, it is an inside day candle. Keep in mind, it could continue to move in either direction. So let's see, I think J&J is also an inside day candle. It is above 176.95. 176.97 is the target. To the downside, under 175.72. Downside target 174.81. So if J&J is something that you trade, y'all, I say it often, trade carefully. So we are now looking at the SPY. We closed at 661.10, and as you can see, we were setting up here, tried to go up, got rejected at a level that we knew we could possibly have trouble, only to come back down to kind of like an area we knew we could possibly have trouble, right? So as of now, support, let's say around that, I have the 658.51 area. Now, we made a low of 658.24. It looks like we're having support in this area where the trouble places. We would need to get back above this level here of 658.99, breaking that for the SPY. 658.99, let's say, yes, 658.99. Let me rephrase that, 658.75 area, and then here at the 659.99. Yes. No, let me rephrase the SPY. Please forgive me. I'm not sure. Okay, so let's go back to the SPY, right? So as of now, support 658.51. We could possibly have trouble again. 659.11, breaking that level. 659.63 and breaking that for the SPY. 660.27. That's going to be a strong area of resistance, in my opinion. Why? Because it was a strong support area for us. Now, continuing to the upside, we will need to get back above the 660.51, and should we break that area, 660.81 could be a rejection. 661.04, and here again at 661.33, should we break that 661.46 and breaking that 661.75 and breaking that 662.08, again here at 662.40, and y'all see that 200 EMA for the SPY is right here at a level that we have marked at the 662.68. Again, I like to see that. So breaking that, in my opinion, could be a strong resistance area, possibly, right? So breaking that 663.41 could be a rejection area. Now, can we continue to the downside? We very well can. So let's say we break under this 658.24, we could very well come back to 657.59 and again 656.65, breaking that 655.57. Should we break that 654.81 and should we break that 654.81 area, which is here, we could very well come back to 653.94, breaking that 653.94. Y'all see there's a few layers of support for the SPY. So if the SPY is something that you trade, I say it often, y'all, trade carefully, mark your levels. Once it goes against your why or your reason for getting in the trade, get out, right? So we are looking at Tesla. Tesla does what Tesla does. We closed at 442.79. It looks like we've had a high here from over in pre-market trading. It looks like around that 449.90 area here, right? So there was a rejection there, only to come back down to an area we kind of knew we could possibly have trouble, right? So that was around the 436.19. Back to the upside, we could possibly have trouble, 437.37, and again 438.42, breaking that 439.85, which is kind of close to our 50 EMA. We have the 20 EMA we could possibly get rejected at, which is around, as of now, the 440, let's say 97. And should we break that, 442.29. So let's see. Here, 441 area for that 20 EMA as of now, and then here at the 442.29. Should we break that, the next level I have is 444.35, and should we break that, 445.57, and breaking that brings us back to around 447.37, breaking that 448.87, and should we break that, 450.05, and breaking that 452.08. Is it possible for Tesla? It very well is. Tesla does what Tesla does, right? So under this level of 434.54, the next level I have marked is 432.22. We have that 200 EMA at that 432.80 area. So this could be a strong area of support for Tesla. Breaking that, we could very well come back to 429.99. This 428.60 is a level that I have a strong area of support because it held us up for a while here. So if you're trading Tesla, again, not financial advice, that 428.60 will be interesting to watch today, right? So y'all see there's a few layers of support from that 428.60 down here, 428.01, 427.26, 426.43, 425.71, 425.39. Those are strong areas. Not really strong areas. It's just few layers of support that Tesla can very well find support in any of those areas and bounce from there. So I would say trade carefully if Tesla is something that you trade today. Now under the 425.39 area, y'all see there's a few, kind of like a little gap in between that. We could very well get stopped out anywhere in between this down to this layer here of 423.25, and breaking the 423.25. The next level that I have is 422.22. So if Tesla is something that you trade today, I say it often, y'all, trade carefully, mark your levels. Once it goes against your reason for getting in the trade, get out, live to trade another day, y'all. So this is what I see when I look at the market. I say it often, y'all, there's so many different ways to trade the market. Again, what's challenging sometimes is trying to figure out the strategy that works best for you, and for you to have the discipline to execute your plan, making sure that you have a plan before going into the trade. So I hope that everyone have a very profitable day, a very productive day today. Again, if you could, please like, share, subscribe. Y'all, we learn and we grow together. With that being said, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others. Until next time.